Well, hi there. Today, I'll be giving you a tutorial on how to make my exotic shrimp recipe. This one is savory, it's succulent, and it's super quick. So, let's kick things right off. Here are your ingredients. To make this recipe, you're going to need king prawns, pineapple, coriander, lime or lemon, sourdough bread, butter, and peri-peri seasoning. And now let the games begin. Start off by chopping your garlic into super fine pieces. Quick tip. If your board moves as much as my one when I'm chopping things, you want to try this technique. Wet a kitchen towel, place it below your board, and then place your board on top. This should stabilize a little bit. And then you want to pick your coriander, or you can chop it. This is optional. And again, if you're not a big fan of coriander, which I am, you don't have to use the coriander in this recipe. Then now you want to dice up your pineapple into bite-sized cubes. You want to slice up your bread into diagonal slices. There's no reason for the diagonal slicing, it's purely for aesthetics. Anything looks nicer on a plate when it is sliced diagonally. And then you want to add some butter on top of your bread. Now it's time to start cooking. Place your pot on a hob and then add a tablespoon of butter. Let this simmer. Whilst this is done, add your garlic. You need to leave the garlic in with the butter until it goes a golden brown color. Add in 1.5 tablespoons of lemon or lime, and then you want to add in your peri-peri seasoning. Key to this ingredient is actually in the mix before you add in your shrimp, so you have to get this perfectly well. Now we have the prawns in there, time to start stirring. Really mix all the seasoning and the spices into the actual prawn or shrimp. Guys, depending on what you call it, you can either call it shrimp or prawns. I have days when I call it either, so bear with me. And now you want to add your pineapples into the pot. This is when the fun really begins. Now you're going to notice a bit of the juices from the pineapple releasing into the actual pot. And now you want to add your coriander. Stir up the pot, and if you look closely, do you see that gorgeous glaze all over the pineapple and all over the prawns as well? This is key. Add a bit of water. I'll probably say 2 tablespoons of water and a bit more butter just to make that sauce that you're going to need for your bread at the end. And we are back to your sourdough bread. Pan toast. If you watched my last video, you know this technique that I always use to toast my bread. So I'm not going to get too much into it. Just watch the last video. But turn over your bread once it's toasted on one side. And then let's go back to our prawns. It should be done at this point. Time to start plating. Start off by placing your sauce at the bottom of the plate. This just makes it much easier and manageable to get that restaurant presentation. And now you want to add your shrimp in a layer technique. So layer it slowly and gently. Make sure you've got a healthy balance between the pineapples and the shrimp. Now doesn't that look just stunning? And then drizzle some more of that sauce on top. Grab your sourdough and just plate it on the dish in a Mediterranean style. Now what I mean by this is when you layer things side by side by side. I don't know if you guys have ever been to any sort of Mediterranean country. They have this technique of putting the bread on your plate, and normally looks something like that. And we are all done. Your dish is ready to serve. Now bon appetit, baby. Do you know what? I actually can't remember who sang that, but I love to sing that every time I make a recipe. It's just now tradition for me. And if you're all done, guys, now it's time for me, as always, to take a bite. Start off with the bread and get some of that sauce in there. Then I'm gonna grab myself a shrimpy, peel off the shell, and I'm gonna dip into that sauce and add some more lemon because that's just how I am. The flavors are a gorgeous cross section between the Mediterranean and Southern Africa. This one you have to try. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And coming up next, we have my carrot cake with a special icing on top, which I make myself. This is honestly the most perfect summer cake and perfect for any occasion. So, like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more tutorial videos that I have coming up next. Guys, that is it. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.